Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Empires and Puzzles video. And in this video, we're going to be looking at the balance update for September 2023. This is live already. As of today, while I'm recording this, video should be up quite soon after. But there's some great things as part of this, I'm happy to say. Plenty of things that don't make any sense and are quite stupid, but some things that I think many people will find as a welcomed addition. So let's talk through these about the possible implications, and I want to show you a particular example of the impact, the direct impact of one of these changes and just how crazy it is to see this. So yeah, all this stuff discussed coming right up. If you're getting frustrated with Empires and Puzzles, let me just say that Gemstone Legends probably has the things you're looking for. They have a mercy system that guarantees a legendary hero after a certain amount of pulls, and we're not just talking about a weak legendary hero from a pre-selected list. They have a wish list that you can put any hero in the game on to boost your chances of pulling that specific hero. They take into account player feedback, and many of the changes that have gone live in the game were based on player feedback or were player suggestions to begin with. They're even going to give you a free $50 starter bonus just for downloading from one of the links in the description. If the earlier stuff somehow wasn't enough, you can be a hero in Wars even just using rare heroes only. They have tons of events that allow you to earn free 10 pulls and other very usable high value stuff. Gemstone Legends really has a lot going for it, so come check it out if you're curious to see why tens of thousands of people have left Empires and Puzzles to come play. Alright, so I have to say I enjoy the monthly balance updates. Mostly just because there's this predictable something's going to happen each month. They've set a precedent. They're naming them the August balance update, the July balance update, the September balance update. So I like that there's some regularity there, because it used to be that we had no idea what to expect, and now it's like, all right, once a month there will be some changes. The changes are not always good, but again, that cadence is something that I enjoy. And since so many people accuse me of being pessimistic, and as I've pointed out, I give criticism where criticism is due, and I give credit where credit is due. So there will be a few times throughout this video, just like what I just said, where I'm giving credit where credit is due. Like, I enjoy that they're doing it this way. So I just want to point that out. All right, this month's balance update is all about buffs. What a surprise, huh? We are doling out some significant improvements to a number of beloved old-timers, okay? I'm on board so far. Some relatively recent heroes that feature interesting mechanics are also receiving a touch-up, as we would like to see them strategically spice up battles a bit more often. This I don't like, and this plays to a point that I've made in the past, which is just the meta. I mean, this isn't so shocking, but there's implications. The meta is artificial. It's just they create who they want to be dominant, and it's like, yeah, that's true because they create the heroes, but it works both ways. They buff the heroes that they want to be the strongest meta heroes, and then they nerf the heroes when they've had their time. That's the part where I think it crosses the line, because a hero doesn't really exist in any particular form. They, for all we know, could be buffed or nerfed at any time, so it's hard to have a grasp and a mastery over your roster when anything could change at any time, and that's the part that I don't like. I think buffs, sure, but the whole nerfing cycle of like Znulfod, okay, he's had his time as the meta tank. We're going to nerf him into obscurity for another team to rise up. I didn't like that way of handling it. All right, without further ado, let's get into the details. Costume bonus buffs. We are seeing buffs to the oldest Heroes of the Month. This is fantastic. Legends 2017, 2018, and 2019. The old bonus was 5 for attack, defense, and mana generation, and 10% for health. They have more than quadrupled most of these numbers, or half the numbers, but defense or health is pretty close. So from 5 to 21% attack, from 5 to 21% defense, from 10 to 38% health, and mana generation has stayed the same. That makes sense. In addition, they have updated Hansel's costume bonus ever so slightly. It's still a welcome buff, and he gets the mana generation buff, which means in the right situation, you can charge him in 6 tiles. I think you need, you got the 5% bonus here. I think you need a Bard hero and some kind of, I forget what the troop level you need is, so it's not going to work for tournaments, but his damage for the costume is quite good from the ailment itself outside of tournaments only. So anyways, it's too bad that there's not much of a stat boost here. It still is better, and he gets the mono generation buff, so that's welcomed as well. Back to the Legends costume bonuses. This is substantial. I really want to point that out. Yes, the stats of these older heroes were quite weak, but these are substantial buffs. I mean, almost 40% more health is huge, and I want to show that in the context. So one of the newest and most dominant heroes, I forget exactly what his name is, I think it's Sha Wu Jing, the green average speed sniper from the War of Three Kingdoms, and he gains mana from buffs, and he charges ridiculously fast in these healing, buffing defense teams, which is the current meta. So he charges faster than fast speed heroes, even though he's technically average if you put him in the right team. Absolutely ridiculous, and obviously modern stats, very dangerous. So look at this. Here are his stats, okay? Single limit break, 1071 attack, very good. 1057 defense, very good. 1890 HP, pretty fantastic. He's sniping super hard, a lot of great stuff going on. Fantastic hero, okay? And then we have Costume Alassi, who was a defensive meta hero for a while because of the mana cut to 3. So look at these stats: 1070, 1050, 1890. Oops. 1070, not quite 1050, but 2134. So keep in mind how much older she is, and her stats were consistent with that. But with this huge buff, she's got 300 HP more than him, which makes a substantial difference. And the defense is more than accounted for with the HP difference. So are we going to see heroes like this popping up again? This is a 2018 hero. Originally, the costume maybe came in 2020 or 2021. I'm not exactly sure. But just insane what has happened with these stats. Same thing is true for Alberic's costume, for costume Perseus, who's a fantastic costume, and many, many others. Any of the costumes from this time. So this is the kind of thing that I think they should be doing, that they are finally doing, which is boost up some of these older heroes and give people a chance to play a wider variety of heroes, right? Not just always needing to be at the cutting edge of the newest heroes coming out. So this I'm strongly in favor of. It makes me wonder if there's a revamp to the Tavern of Legends coming. There's a lot of heroes in that portal that never received costumes. So like by comparison, if I look at Evelyn without costume, her HP is down at 1600. So a huge difference. And again, that is accounted for with the costume bonus. 38% higher would put her around this level. And keep in mind that the family bonus, I think it is, for 2018 is a 10% defense boost. So she's going to get another 100 defense without needing to have even more than one hero, just built in. So that's going to bring her actually significantly to better stats. So 980, that's going to be a little under 100, so that would put her at about 1060 maybe. So they've taken an older hero. Obviously his special is far better. His passives are better. Like all that stuff is true. And this is exactly the reason why it is equitable to give these stat boosts to older heroes, because the newer heroes don't need to dominate in stats and in the quality of special skills. This special skill is ridiculously good with his passive, so still far better than her. Not just better, but far better. So let her have some stats. Let her compete a bit, you know? And just focusing on the one hero, Elasti there, but this is true for the 2017, 18, and 19 families if they have a costume. A little unfortunate that you need the costume because that's just pulling a new hero all over again, but that is what it is. Okay, moving on. That was the part I was most excited about, but there's some other great things here that will still benefit players with older heroes, and players with newer heroes alike. So we'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. Alexandrine, another hero of the month. Base heal increased by 5%, max heal increased by 5%. So just makes her better and more playable. I like it. Bai Yang, direct damage increase from 320 to 370. All right, awesome. Brimstone, Ferris, did these two really need boosts? I don't think so. Brimstone is already very strong because he hits, puts his elemental defense down, and then his passive fires, which benefits from the elemental defense down. So it's almost like he's hitting you twice for a lot of damage sometimes, depending on how many times he's been hit, which is what charges up his construct core. But this event must be coming out soon, so they need to puff him up a little bit, keep people interested. So attack going up by 10, defense going up by 10, health going up by 31. All right, not needed. Ferris, stats going up and special ability is getting better. Attack is going up by 25? I think. Defense going up, I'm not going to do all the math here. Defense is going up significantly, a bigger stat boost than Brimstone is getting. Health is going up by 72, which is amazing. Amazingly high. Not saying he needs this at all. He's already a very strong hero that's quite dangerous. And his construct core, the corrosive one, bypasses taunt and dodge and all that kind of stuff. So it's like some guaranteed damage. Direct damage increase from 360 to 390. Bleed damage over 3 turns increased by almost 100. And that goes up with troops and emblems and limit breaks and all that. As long as his attack stat goes up, the bleed damage is going to go up. So he's putting bleed and poison because of his corrosive core. Massive damage. Frog Prince, who was pretty underwhelming, I must say, is getting a nice buff here. Direct damage increased. I believe he's slow speed from 180 to 230. Amount of mana received per poison damage applied increased. And I saw a picture of someone testing the before and after, and it was huge. It looked like, I don't know what the test was, so I can't verify all this information, but at first it looked like about 5 times as much, like close to half after the buff. So quite good if you can get him to fire the first time. Mana generation debuff also increased, so they made everything about him better. Again, he was pretty underwhelming for slow speed, and I think this is necessary. The other two, Brimstone and Ferris, did not need buffs, but again, they're both constructs. That portal must be coming up soon. All right, Grace. Direct damage increased by 50%, which is awesome. Green Knight is getting a buff, he's a little bit underwhelming. Direct damage increased from 235 to 265. Health upon resurrection increased up to 45. And damage dealt upon resurrection increased by 100. I think that is balanced as well. He wasn't a bad hero, but he was not, I didn't see him that much. So again, everyone's going to have different feelings on whether these things are justified or not. That one seems acceptable to me. I don't see anything crazy going on there. Ignacio, I don't forget if he was the healer. He's one of the contest of elements in red. I forget if he was the damage dealer or the healer, but he's getting a big stat boost. 47 attack, plenty of defense, and HP. That's huge. That's actually huge. 9-headed beast is getting a buff, okay? 33 attack. Defense looks like 35. Health almost 100. I don't know if that was needed. He has the same buff as Sha Wujing, but but he's slow speed, so it just still takes longer. But he's quite good. I've seen a lot of people double limit break him just because he's hitting 9 times. So if there's a taunt hero active or something like that, he's doing a substantial amount of damage, and you can speed him up in the right team. Costume Norns, Monospeed. They had changed it from average to slow in the first place for some reason, and now they're changing it back. They're reducing the damage substantially to justify the speed change. But a huge, huge stat boost. I don't know, well, just for attack. They're cutting her defense down and her HP down, but giving a huge boost to attack. This one's strange. I don't understand this. All right, one of the Slayers here, the blue guy that cleanses. Initial damage increased. Damage per dispelled status effect increased. Maximum damage increased. So that's great. He was almost unplayable depending on your level and your roster. Just not very competitive. So interesting to see him singled out here. These choices are so bizarre. Roz, another contest of elements. Green. I wonder if they're going to create a 5-color contest of elements portal, and that's why we're seeing buffs to so many of these heroes, instead of having them cycle by color only. So attack going up quite a bit, 873 to 920. Defense going up quite a bit, 842 to 889. Health going up a very large amount, and direct damage going up. So she's the one that only hits 1. If there's 6 greens on the board, then she hits 3. So 530 to 3 is pretty ludicrous damage. Sorrow, stats increased. Huge attack buff, huge defense buff, huge HP buff. Minion HP is going up, which is a bit counterproductive because she does damage when minions are killed. So a little bit odd there, but they're trying to boost her up a little bit. Thalassa, stat boost, okay, she's already quite strong. Defense almost 1,000 before emblems or limit breaks or anything like that with 1674 HP. That's wild. I remember, I think at one point, Krampus had the highest defense in the game, and it was 880, I believe, before emblems. And I set that benchmark in my mind of okay, that's a really high defense. And now easily overcome with an attack of almost 900 as well. So ludicrous damage. Tremor, very dominant hero, especially an equalizer, but a very good hero. Stat boost. More modest, 15 attack, 14 defense, 41 HP. Health recovery increased after 3 turns from 400 to 500, and as the effect is removed from 7 to 8, and then after 3 turns from 4 to 500 again, and after effect is removed from 700 to 800. So substantial. Both of them have been improved with stat boosts. He's just even better now. All right, Victor. Direct damage increased from 211 to 250. I think that's justified. Damage over time increased from 225 to 355. Damage per stacked effect, 300 to 315. Max damage, 825 to 985. Healing increased. The stolen healing increased from 61 to 75. Heal steal and defense buff duration increased from 3 turns to 5 turns. Very strong buff there and justified. He's not really that playable right now. Costume Victor, direct damage increased from 125 to 155. Healing stolen from 51 to 61. Heal steal and defense debuff duration from 3 to 5 turns. So pretty good for very fast speed. Not meta still, but still pretty good. All flat or non-percentage based damage values listed above are based on the hero's stats when fully ascended and max leveled, but not limit broken or emblemed. Okay, that makes sense. We hope the adjustments above will help you find these heroes in a wider range of situations. This time I actually agree with that. In the past, they pick 2 or 3 super weak heroes and they're we've added 1% to their damage. No stat boosts or anything like that. So this finally did bring a lot of heroes into a very modern place, as you saw from the stats there. So that's pretty incredible. We hope the adjustments above will help you field these heroes in a wider range of situations. If you feel that your favorite hero could use a buff, please remember to let us know here on the community forum. As always, we will continue to keep an eye on all heroes affected by this update in case further adjustments become necessary. Please refer to our hero balancing FAQ. We did that once before and it's pretty laughable. For why we occasionally make post-release balance adjustments. If you wish to share your feedback and discuss this update with fellow players, you can do so here. Really trying to drive people to the forum because it keeps you invested in the game and keeps you potentially spending, or makes it more likely for you to spend on the game. So that is the September balance updates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you in favor of this? Which ones are you in favor of? Which ones are you not in favor of? All that kind of information. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this? From my perspective, this seems like one of the better balance updates we've seen, and actually does finally bring some balance. They did unbalance things a little bit by buffing already strong heroes, but I got to give respect for the what are they called? The 2017, 2018, and 2019. I guess the Tavern of Legends. I forget what they're called right now. I got to give respect for them making that adjustment, because that did bring a lot of more obscure heroes back into the forefront, and I'm in favor of that. The one thing I find really annoying still is they have buffed the costume bonuses for Season 3 and 4, and now they've buffed the... God, what the fuck are they called? This is driving me crazy. The Legends families. They've now buffed the Legends families. However, Season 2 still got the old costume bonus. They finally boosted it a while ago, because for a long time it was just 1% mana, 3% everything else. They finally brought it up to the older version of 5, 5, 10, and 5, I think, which is the same as what a 4-star hero has, what Hansel has. And then you've got these other ones with 21, 25, 30-something% increase. So I don't know why Season 2 is lagging behind so much, but it's a little ridiculous. So anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps support the channel, and it also helps make the video visible to more people so they can hear about this information. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.